All right. So, hey guys, welcome to Team Sweat Your Heart Out's team call. I'm super excited to see so many of you on here tonight. We have an amazing guest speaker that we're so fortunate to have with us tonight. Before we get started with that, though, I did want to go over some recognition with you all. So let me get that pulled up. Here we go. All right, so we have two top life changers of the week, and I'm really excited that one of them just signed up last week. So we have Miss Chelsea and Janaya. Janaya has been a coach probably about a week right now, which is amazing to see her up on that board already. So congratulations to you. We have the life changers on our team right now. We have myself with 27, Chelsea Treachler and Janaya Francis with 12, Christy Kako with 10, and I have to talk about Christy for a second because she is officially now a Success Club 10 All-Star, so congratulations to you. We have Emmy Schneider-Green and Shannon Olson with 9, Cody Clark, Alexandria Russell with 5, Nicole Rodriguez with 4, Kelly Trimble, Tara Reuter with 3, Jeanette Bouillon, Ali O'Sullivan, Araya Billings, Tess Allen, Abigail Griffin, Jacqueline Fereni, Christine Gownley, Lauren Chenard with 2, James Bronkowski, and Rose Desdunes all with 1. And those of you with 1, 2, 3, 4, you just need to help like 1 to 2 more people, and that's totally doable. We have a week left to do it. So don't give up on your goals. And even if you're not up here, you can still get up here. I've seen people hit Success Club in a day. So don't think that you are not able to do it. You can totally get that done. I also wanted to point out our top recruiters for this month. We have Janaya Francis and Christy Kako with 3 coaches, myself with 1, Lauren Chenard, Victoria Delaney, Emmy Schneider-Green, Araya Billings, Ali O'Sullivan, Alexandria Russell, Jackie Fereni, Amanda Bogiano, and Cody Clark, all with 1 new coach to our team. And then I wanted to welcome our new friends. So we have oh my God, I'm going to mess this up again. Heaven Von Gassenbach, Kathy Bogiano, Angela Chung, Katie Bragg, Molly Bloom, Noelle Angelo, Brittany Folan, Crystal Foster, Patrice Caudill, Dana Delaney, Catherine Rosen, Rhonda Garone, Janaya Francis, Stephen Gindrich, Wilson Smith, and Patricia Thompson. So welcome to all of our new friends, our new coaches on our team. And I did want to point out that together as a team, we have, sorry, did I butcher somebody's name? Somebody's laughing. I wanted to point out that we have changed 62 lives as a team so far, which is so awesome that we're doing so much together as a team. And I have no doubt that we can hit that 100 by the end of the month. So let's keep working hard and help change lives, because that's what we're here to do. So let me stop sharing my screen now. And also, we will have a new Emerald tomorrow, Janaya Francis, Miss Coach for a week. So proud of you. But we have an amazing guest speaker tonight, so I wanted to give him as much time as we possibly can. We have Pat Riehlman, and he is a 4-time elite coach, although as he will probably tell you, the first 4 years he didn't really do so much with his business, so that's okay. He's a Success Club legend. He has 50 months in Success Club consistently. He's a multi-6-figure earner. He has multiple business centers, and he makes 6 figures in those. He has 3,000 coaches in his downline and 50 diamonds in his downline. So I'm super pumped to hear from you. We met in Cancun on a trip that I was a guest to, and it's been really cool to just be a part of the Boom fam, kind of. Just seeing like what his team has done in this past 2 years since I've been a coach has been so amazing. So without further ado, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself and take it away.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted, right?
Yes, you're good.
I just took a picture of that lives changed photo and sent it to my assistant. And I said, I think we need to change our Success Club recognition photo. I love that lives changed idea versus like the Success Club points. I think that's so cool. Awesome. I'm excited. Actually had Carolyn was on my team call earlier today, and she crushed it. So I'm excited to kind of try to return the favor. So yeah, I guess I'll tell you a little bit of kind of my background. So I was a college athlete, and when I graduated, I got a job with like the biggest accounting firm in the country. And, I went to school for accounting because my mom told me that when I was going to college that I should be an accounting major. And I listened to my mom. All right. So did that, studied really hard, as maybe not as hard as I should, but I got a really good job when I got out, and, started working for that big accounting firm. And I also moved, to Boston to get that job. I moved there with my college girlfriend. So I'm in Boston. I'm working for this crazy, huge company. I'm just a number, and I'm working 70, 80 hours a week. I'm pretty committed to it. This is my career. I want to be a partner at this firm. I know I got to work hard for 15 years to make that happen. And I got married really young too, to my college girlfriend when we were living together in Boston. And kind of towards the end of my 20s, when I was 29, I went through a divorce, and I was totally burnt out in my career. And I had been introduced to Beachbody when I was in my mid-20s. About 25, I was watching a P90X infomercial. I probably watched it about 10 times, and I finally bought P90X, and I loved it because it kind of got me back into being that athlete that I had missed. And my buddy found out I was doing it and introduced me to coaching. He didn't know what the heck he was doing. He was brand new, and he got me involved to help him get to Emerald. And so we didn't know. It was the blind leading the blind. I didn't, honestly, those first 4 years with that business, from the 25 to 29, I was a coach, but I wasn't consistent with it. But I would go to a few local events here and there that he would kind of try to drag me to. And so I knew what it was. I saw other coaches that were doing really well with it. And it was kind of in the back of my mind. I think once I went to my first live event, I couldn't turn it off. It was something that never left me, even though I was really committed to my career. But kind of when I was 29, I went through that divorce, and I kind of realized, this accounting thing, I don't know if I can do this the next 40 years of my life. And I saw these other coaches doing this Beachbody thing, and they were doing really well with it. And so the next 7 months, from really the first 7 months of 2013, is when I said, all right, I'm going to go all in with this Beachbody thing, and I'm going to just work it. So that's what I did, literally for 7 months. And from the time I made that decision until my lease ran out in August of 2013, I said, I literally just did nothing but work and then Beachbody. And I just went crazy with it. And at the beginning of 2013, I had been a coach for 4 years, and I was making a couple $100 with Beachbody, nothing crazy. But at the end of those 7 months, I was making, between $1,500 a week to $2,000 a week with it. And, during that time, I got my family involved. So I built my one leg with my family. Both my sisters are 6-figure income earners with Beachbody, and my parents are 6-figure income earners with it. And so they're on my right leg, and, they're crushing it over there, and we do everything together. And then during that 7 months, I found a couple good leaders through the customer lead program and through social media to kind of help me crush that side of my left leg. And so then once I hit that point, at the end when my lease ran out, that's when I quit my job. I was making more with Beachbody than I was with my accounting job, so I quit. And that was 3.5 years ago. So for the last 3.5 years, I've just been building this thing and having a blast, working with the leaders and developing new leaders and running challenge groups every month and staying consistent with my own personal development, my own workouts and all that jazz, right? So yeah, the first 4 months were I didn't really have a ton of success with it because I didn't stay consistent with it. But what I did learn during those first 4 years, what I did learn was that anybody that comes into this, that wants to help people, that's willing to work hard, that's willing to never stop, they're going to be successful, because it's going to be inevitable that you find good people. And the only way you won't is if you just quit or take breaks. Well, anytime someone comes to me and they're like, hey, what's the secret to this business? I don't want to hear your story. It's usually guys. The guys don't want to hear your story. They're like, dude, I don't want to hear your story about your accounting stuff. I don't care about, like, I just want to know what's the secret. Like, what's the real deal? Don't give me the fluff. And so I always tell them it comes down to one thing: develop 2 or 3 good leaders. That's it. If you can develop 2 or 3 good leaders in this business, you're going to create a 6-figure income. And there's an income disclaimer about that. Like, you can't guarantee any amount of income, but it's all based on your skill. I'm telling you, if you can find 2 or 3 people that get to the point where they don't need you anymore, 2 or 3 people that believe in the products as much as you, that believe in this business as much as you, that have a why as big as yours or bigger, 2 or 3 people that get to the point where they're building their own team, they're creating their own leaders, then you're going to have an unbelievable business. And those 2 or 3 people don't have to be personally sponsored people. It could be someone that you bring in someone, and then that person brings in someone that really wants it, and you work with that person, you develop that person. And that's not going to help you rank. It's not going to help your elite points, but it's going to help you create the income if that's your thing. And the other cool thing is once you develop 2 or 3 leaders, you're going to be able to help so many more people than you can on your own. So you're going to have such a much bigger impact on people's lives than you could just by yourself. So, there's a catch though. There's a catch with that. The secret is you got to find and develop those couple good leaders that want to do this with you. The catch is a lot of times those 2 or 3 people are going to be people that are pretty smart. They're people that are usually doing pretty well with whatever else they're doing in life, and they're not jumping and looking for things right now. So they're usually going to be people that have to sit back and watch you for 6 months and sometimes a year before they say they're going to get into this thing. And I know that from experience. They're going to be watching, and they might not comment on anything you post, and they might not like anything you post, but trust me, they're watching. And are any of you guys visual learners? You guys visual learners? I can tell. You guys are like, what is this guy talking about? I'm a visual learner too. So let me give you an example of what I mean. Have any of you guys ever tried to run up an escalator that's going down? Mm-hmm. Like, any of you guys troublemakers on this call?
That'd be me.
Heck yeah.
All right, cool. I used, when I was a kid, when my mom would bring me to the mall or something, like, she'd be going shopping. All I wanted to do is I would try to run up an escalator that was going down. It was like fun for me to try to see if I could get to the top, and I had to avoid all the people that were coming down. It was great, right? So when I would do that, I was really excited. Like, I'd be like so excited, and I'm like, I'm going to run a full speed up this thing, and I'm going to go nuts. And I would get on that thing, and I'm running like crazy, and I'm excited. And I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like kind of almost halfway up it. And I'm like, I've been running a while, and I'm only halfway up this thing. And I'm starting to get tired. This is getting, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it to the top. Like, I don't know, maybe I should take a break. There's people that are in my way that are my haters that are like kind of getting, I got to dodge them. Like, this is exhausting, and maybe I'm going to take a break. And I take a break, right? And what happens when you're on an escalator that's going down and you stop running forward, you go all the way back to the bottom. And so this business is the very same thing. When you first start this business, you're so excited and you're running like crazy and you're inviting and you're posting and you're following up and you're connecting, but your business isn't going to move as fast as you want. You're not going to move up as fast as you want because, like I said, people need to watch you for a while. You're their guinea pig. You need to gain their trust and credibility by showing up every day for a year, and then they start really saying yes. But what do most coaches do? They get really excited and they invite and they're going nuts, and then they get 3 months in and they're like, I'm not moving as fast as I want. Like, the yeses aren't coming as fast as I want. Like, I'm dodging haters and people, like, it's just their follow-ups aren't, it seems like no one's interested. And what do? They stop, right? And what happens when you stop on an escalator that's going down? When you come back after that break, do you get to start where you left off? Nope. Everyone that was watching you saw you stop, and you lose all that credibility, and you got to start all the way at the bottom again. And I know this because I did this to myself for 4 years. First 4 years of this business, all I did was get on the escalator after an event or something or a call, and I'd get excited, and I'd get on there and I'd invite, and people weren't really into it. But then I would get discouraged and I'd stop. And they'd be like, good thing I didn't join him in one of his challenge groups. Good thing I didn't join the business with him. He's not even doing it. I'm glad I didn't. So then I finally got to a point where I was like, all right, this time I'm getting back on this freaking escalator and I'm not getting off, because this is what I want my life to be about. I want my life to be about personal development and eating right and being around fun people that want to be fit mentally and physically, and they want to be badasses. And I'm doing this for me. And if other people want to get on this journey with me, cool. But if they don't, I'm not stopping. And once I turned, that mentality went from like, I need people to join me, I'm desperate for them, to I'm doing this with or without you, and I'm never going to quit. It's amazing the amount of people that started to take notice. And they didn't say yes right away, but they're like, that's 6 months later. Like he's still doing this 12 months later. He's reached out to me a few times and I've said no, but he's still going. And he's going to be successful with or without me. And I can either go with him or I'm going to get left behind. And that's the mentality that you guys got to have, that you got to show to other people, that you're going to do this with or without them. Don't ever try to hitch your wagon to one or two people that you think are going to be those 2 or 3 leaders. The secret, yes, 2 or 3 leaders is what the secret to this business is, but never hitch your wagon to someone and say they're the one that's going to be that. You got to have the mentality of, I'm doing this, I'm going with or without you, and I'm going to get to the top of this escalator if it kills me. And eventually what happens is if you stay on that escalator long enough for that full year, people start noticing, they start getting on board, and all of a sudden now there's a few of you that are doing this with you, and now you're on flat ground at the top of the escalator running full speed and your business explodes. But that's only if you're willing to stay on the escalator for that full year and prove to people that this thing's real and you're serious about it. So why do some coaches stay on the escalator for a year and some don't? It comes down to 2 things. And I do little 20-minute accountability calls like you guys do. And, one of the things I talk about on those 20-minute calls more than anything else with people is their why and their belief. Because if they don't have those things, they're not going to stay on the escalator. And if they don't stay on the escalator, they're not going to find those 2 or 3 leaders. So the why, I have them create a why list of the little to the big and everything in between. Like paying for your Shakeology, paying for your groceries. I had a coach say that she wanted to be able to afford the Charmin extra soft toilet paper. And I was like, add that shit to the list. That's great. And then, like paying for some of your rent or cell phone bill, paying all of your rent, being able to quit your job, whatever it is for you, like little all the way to the big and everything in between. And if you don't have huge ones yet and you only got the little, that's fine. Focus on that, but leave some space like at the top and the bottom of your list to always be adding things to it, because you're always going to see things that you're going to say, oh, I wish I could do that. Or, oh, how cool is that they're able to do that? I wish I could do that for my family. And stop having that mentality of, oh, I wish, or how that would be cool, and start saying, I can't yet, but I will. And I'm going to add it to my why list. And that's going to be my why fuel. That's going to fuel me on this escalator. So we always are creating that why list. And you got to have different parts of your why. You got to have part of your why that you want to have an impact on other people's lives, that you want to help other people. Part of your why has to be personal to you and your family and your family's future. If you only are here just to help people and you don't have anything that's personal to you and your family and your family's financial future, then there's going to be days where you're not going to feel like helping people. So you're going to take breaks and you're not going to stay on the escalator. So you got to have both parts of your why. It's like, if you don't, it's going to be tough. Right? So I'm constantly working on that why with them. The second part is the belief that the things that I'm telling them to do every day are actually going to get them to everything on that why list. Right? Because you could have the most powerful why list in the world. You could want to like end suffering for every human on the planet, right? Or, have some huge goals for your family and your family's future. But if you don't believe the things you're doing every day are actually going to get you there, you're not going to stay on that escalator. So the way I help people build belief is I reverse engineer it. So I start from the thing that's going to create everything on that why list, which is finding those 2 or 3 leaders. My goal is always 5, but I've found that once you find 2 or 3, the business kind of takes off. So I know that's the big picture, and that's always in my mind. But where are those 2 or 3 leaders going to come from? 2 words. First one starts with a C. Second one starts with a G. Anybody? Bueller. Challenge groups.
No, I couldn't unmute myself fast enough.
Those 2 or 3 leaders are going to come from challenge groups, because in the challenge group, 2 things are going to happen. They're going to fall in love with the products, and they're going to fall in love with what we do as coaches and how powerful what we do is. Because we have the best products on the planet. The products are not on trial. They're proven. They work if you stay consistent with them. And most people don't. And that's why the coaches and the challenge groups are the glue of this entire company. This $1 billion company, the glue of it, the whole thing is us. And so when people go through challenge groups, that's what they realize. They realize the products are amazing, and they realize how important we are, that we're the glue. And once they have the belief in those 2 things, it's going to be so much more easier for them to go off and start to run their own challenge groups and invite other people to do their challenge groups and have that same experience that you gave them, and invite other people to become coaches, because they're going to just have that belief, right? So 2 or 3 leaders, they're coming from your challenge groups. How do you get people into your challenge groups? 2 words. First one starts with a V. Second one starts with a B. Vital behaviors. Those like silly things that we always talk about. You hear people talking about all the time, right? Personal development, be proof the products work, invite. Recognition now too. If you're doing personal development every day and you're becoming more proof that the products work, those 2 to me are the foundational vital behaviors. Because the more you're doing personal development and the more you're becoming proof the products work, the easier that inviting becomes. That's kind of the overarching 3rd vital behavior. Those first 2 are the foundation. But that's the escalator part. If you're doing that personal development, you're being proof the products work, you're sharing your journey on social media, you're connecting with new people, you're inviting people, it's inevitable you're going to find people that get into your challenge groups because they've watched you on the escalator long enough to realize that this must be a real thing. If you've been doing it for a year and you're showing all these people that are getting results with these before and afters, and they're seeing you like starting to show, hey, I'm doing pretty well, I paid my cell phone bill kind of stuff. So those vital behaviors are what get people into your challenge groups. The challenge groups are where those leaders are going to come from. Those leaders are what create everything on your why list. So now these little vital behaviors that I'm telling my coaches to do every day, they know exactly how that's going to get them all the way to the big things that are going to lead to everything on their why list. So now they have this unbelievable why list and all this fuel and this unbelievable belief that everything that I'm telling them to do every day is going to get them to everything on that why list. And now they're going to stand on that escalator for a year and prove to people that they're serious about this. And that's when their businesses start to really take off. So who has been on and off an escalator for a while? Anybody besides me that's gone up and down this escalator? I'm not the only one. Okay, good. So who's going to commit to getting on this escalator for themselves for a year? Not like I'm not going to be proof the products work and read personal development because I'm building a business. Do it because it's who you want to be. Because you're someone that wants to grow physically stronger and mentally stronger. You want to be a badass that doesn't just go through life reacting to everything and living in a little like shelter in a comfort zone. You're someone that wants to be strong, like physically and mentally. And so you're doing those 2 things because that's who you are. And you're going to stay on that journey, on that escalator for a year, sharing that journey and posting to keep yourself accountable so other people see what you're doing. Who wants to be on that escalator for a year doing that? Cool. Bunch of badasses. I like it. So that's it. That's the mindset that I'm always working on my coaches, is that escalator. We call it hashtag escalator mindset. And my coaches will text me and they say, I'll text them. I'm going down the escalator. I'm going backwards down the escalator. Like I haven't been doing my PD. I haven't been doing my workouts. I haven't been doing my inviting or my posting. I'm going backwards. And I go, people are watching. You don't think so, but I guarantee you people are watching. And you guys are probably starting to notice that, because when you guys start going out to the bar or home for holidays or whatever it is, like, how many of you have had someone come up to you that said, hey, I saw what you're doing, and you never saw them comment or like anything you posted? Never. But they said something to you, right? Happens all the time. Like, only about 5% of people that see your journey are commenting and liking. 95% of people, you don't even know it, but they are. So that's what you always got to, in the back of your mind, realize that, hey, I'm on this escalator and people are watching, and I need to understand that they need to watch for a while before they're going to say yes. And if I stop, they're going to say, good thing I didn't say yes. You got to prove it to them. But that's what the catch is. That's the escalator, right? So that's 80% of the battle. 20% is like developing the skills, getting better at those vital behaviors. And there's really kind of 5 skills that I help my coaches get comfortable with. And if they get comfortable with these 5 skills, they're going to kill it. If they have the why and the belief and that escalator mindset, and they can get really confident with these 5 things and get to the point where they can teach their coaches these 5 skills, they're going to crush it. And they do. I see it happen. So the first is sharing your journey on social media. So you got to be on that journey, right? You got to be on the escalator with your personal development and your workouts, and you got to be sharing that. And, I think Carolyn probably does a better job than I would of teaching you guys how to share that journey on social media. Right. But yeah, people need to know you're on that escalator so you can gain that trust and credibility. So you got to be sharing that journey in a very like authentic way, not like a salesy, I'm perfect, look at me kind of way. It's hey, I'm doing this, and sharing this stuff is scary as shit. But hey, it's what helps me stay accountable. And if it helps other people with their journey, then it's worth it for me to be scared about sharing my own journey, because I don't care as much about what other people think of me as I do about maybe inspiring someone else. And that's a shift that you guys will start to make more and more, a shift from your head to your heart. You stop thinking about yourself and how you come across to others, and you start focusing on how you can be of service to others. And you just start putting yourself out there more. And I see coaches, and I'm guilty of it too, they only talk about what they're excited about. They only talk about the programs and the business and why they're excited and the trips they won and all the great highlights. And people that aren't there yet cannot relate to that stuff. If you share if you share your background and the things you didn't like about it or currently are still trying to work through, that's where people relate to you and can connect with you and trust you. And then they're willing to listen to the solution and why you're excited. But 99% of Beachbody coaches, they live in that second part, the excitement, and it's just noise to people that aren't there yet because they're still stuck in the crap. So you got to go down in there and share that stuff and relate and connect with them on that level, and then they're going to be willing to go to that next step. All right? That's part of the sharing your journey on social media. Get out of your head, be vulnerable, be authentic. And if someone doesn't like what you're posting, they can do you a favor and unfriend you. Because another thing I see coaches do is they let 1 or 2 haters dictate what they post, and what you post dictates your success. What you post dictates the impact you have on people's lives. So if you have 1 or 2 haters that are dictating what you post, then those 1 or 2 haters are dictating the impact you're having on other people's lives. So who are you going to let dictate what you post? 1 or 2 haters, or tens of thousands of millions of people that would love to be a part of a community that like we have? And the products are amazing. Best products in the planet. The business opportunity is unbelievable. But I think one thing that we overlook is the community that we have. a lot of successful people, if you ask them their best piece of advice, they'll say it comes down to the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's what's going to create whatever kind of happiness and success you want in life. And the fact that we get to surround ourselves with a lot of unbelievably positive people, that's huge. And so many people would love to be a part of that if you're willing to put it out there and continuously invite and share your journey. So that's the first one. Posting on social media. There was something else I was going to say that just kind of slipped my mind before I go to number 2, but I'll think of it. So before I even go to number 2, I'll just tell you guys, like, the only thing that's like holding you guys back from success with this is fear. And it comes in a lot of different shapes and wrapped in a lot of different packages, but it comes down to one simple fear, the fear that you're not enough. And that's just bullshit. Don't buy that. You know what that is? That's your brain that's in survival mode trying to keep you safe, because your brain's not really designed to help you grow and be the best version of yourself. It's designed to keep you alive and safe. And so it's always trying to look for what's wrong with trying to grow. It's always trying to keep you in this comfort zone. And the difference between the successful coaches and the ones that don't really have much success a lot of times comes down to not that one's fearful and one's not. Like they both have fear, but the successful ones are willing to take that one step out of their comfort zone, even when it's scary, and create this new comfort zone. Their comfort zone grows a little bit. And then guess what? Then you're still afraid to take the next step, but you do. And then you're like, oh, this is pretty exciting out here. And then it goes from fear to excitement. And then all of a sudden your comfort zone grows a little bit more. And then you got to have, again, it's still scary to take that next step, but your comfort zone grows. And before you know it, like your comfort zone is bigger than it was like a year or 2 before. And you have more tools and skills to help more people, which is really cool. But the reason I'm sharing that with you is because when I first became a coach, my upline asked me to get on a team call, and I was a brand new coach. He wasn't asking me to speak. He was just asking me to get on the call, and I wouldn't get on the call because I was afraid they would ask me to introduce myself, and I'd forget my name or say something stupid, right? So getting on a team call was one step out of my comfort zone. But I got on a team call, and I was like, oh my God, I didn't die. Do I have all my limbs? I still got both arms. Like I'm still okay. I didn't lose any limbs. I'm still alive. This is good. I'll get on the next team call next week, right? And then maybe the next thing was, I had to like share one tip on a team call. And I was like, oh my God, that's going to be crazy. I can't believe I got to share something on a team call. I'm like, here we go. And then I did it. And it was like, oh my God, did I lose any limbs? Am I alive? No. Like, did it help anybody? Maybe, I don't know. But seemed like it was fun. Then I would do it again. And now, I get to do calls like this. And the first time I did a call like this, I had a script and I read it and I was like freaking out. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. And afterwards I was like, I didn't die, I'm still alive. And maybe it helped someone. So why not try it again? And you start to realize like all that fear of not taking that next step is it's you thinking about yourself. And you're not a selfish person, but it's you thinking about yourself and worrying about what other people think of you. Just human nature. But the more you're conscious of it and the more you realize, okay, I'm afraid because I'm focusing on myself. What can I focus on besides myself? Oh, I can focus on how this could help other people. So why not focus on that and come from my heart and say, hey, maybe they won't like me. Maybe they're going to think I'm crazy. Maybe I'll mess up. But maybe there's one thing I'll say that will connect with one person, and you focus on that. And then you can't be excited and you can't be grateful and fearful at the same time. So you just start to make that shift more from your head to your heart, right? So I forgot what I was even I was trying to remember what I was thinking. I was just buying time talking about that, but I still didn't come back to me. It'll come back. All right. So that's the first skill. Sharing on social media. Get out of your own head. Stop thinking about yourself and focus on how you can help others, how you can serve others. Right. So, and the way you can serve others is getting into the stuff that you don't like about your current situation or your past. That's where you connect. Right. Second skill is you got to be connecting with new people. If you got the same 3 people liking your photos every day, your mom, your aunt, and your uncle, it's not going to work. You got to get more eyes on your journey. You know, you got to get more eyes on the fact that you got to get more people watching your escalator, right? So connecting with new people every day, that's something that I think is really easy to overlook. I think a lot of coaches that are struggling, it's because they're not doing that. You know, they don't do it. They just focus on, they're posting all the time, but they're not connecting with new people. And the third skill is inviting, inviting to a free group or a challenge group, inviting to the business. It's another thing I think a lot of coaches overlook is they post a lot and they just wait for people to come to them, and it's never going to happen. I don't care, like maybe 1 or 2 like top coaches in Beachbody that have like some crazy, stuff, maybe that works for them. But the people that you really want on your team aren't going to come to you. You might have people come to you. I have people come to me, but the people that I really love working with the most are the ones that I have to go to them and start the relationship with them, because they're the people that already have a lot of other people that want their attention, and they're not desperate looking for me. So I got to go to them, and I got to spend a lot of time building a relationship and trust and rapport and figuring out if this is, a relationship that is going to go anywhere. Right? So you got to go invite. You can't just post and wait for people to come to you. It's just not going to happen. Fourth one is giving your people in your challenge groups an amazing experience. This, I think, could be the foundation of your business. And the reason I say that is because if you fall in love with the experience you give your challengers, you're gonna have more people that want to be a part of your challenge groups. The selling a challenge pack becomes so much easier if you really love that, the experience that you're about to give them. I think when I'm talking to people about my challenge groups, they can tell that I don't really give a shit about commission. They can tell that my job is not to sell a challenge pack and make $50 or whatever it is. I don't even know what it is because I don't even care. They can tell that my job really starts when they buy the challenge pack. And they know that while I'm talking to them about my challenge group and what the challenge pack has in it, and I'm going through that 5-step invite, they really get to know the fact that, hey, this guy's not out to sell. He's out to really give me a great experience and hold my hand. And that's why we're not salespeople or distributors. We're coaches, right? Like, we're not certified trainers or anything, but we're not just straight up salespeople. We get people the products and then we coach them through it, through accountability. We're the glue. Like, the more you fall in love with that experience, the more people you're going to get in your challenge group. Success Club's going to come easier. And the better the experience you give your people, the more likely they're going to want to become a coach and give that experience to other people. Just facts. And the better the experience you give your people, the better the coach they're going to be, because they're going to give the same experience to their people that you gave to them. So I really think that experience you give your people and loving on them and going into your groups and, encouraging them, doing little fun challenges within the challenge, and get out of your comfort zone and go in there and do one little tip on Facebook Live so they get to see who you are authentically. Even if it's nervous, that's fine, because they'll be able to relate to you more if you go in there and do that live. Carolyn gave us a homework assignment on our call, and this is my homework assignment to you. Like, start doing Facebook Live at least once a week in your challenge groups. And maybe, just maybe, you might work it up to doing Facebook Live on your personal page. In your challenge groups, just pick one tip you want to give them. If you want to just do one a week, just give them one tip that you can pop in there, give them a quick tip, how it's helped you, end it, right? They get to see who you are more than just read your words. They get to see your face and hear you. So the fifth skill is introducing people to the business opportunity. Introducing them. So that's something I help my coaches work on. And a lot of times, mostly it's people kind of coming out of those challenge groups that have that belief in the products and the belief in what we do as coaches. And so that inviting to the coaching is kind of a natural step for them because they're already in the challenge group, already loving everything. Probably, you know, one of the things I do in my challenge group is I'll do little challenges where they got to post on their wall publicly about what they love about the challenge group and the challenge pack and the products and stuff. And, you know, they start to get people that like their stuff and comment. And, you know, they're already starting to like do what a coach does, like share that they love what they're doing, and other people are reaching out to them, and they're, you know, maybe give me a referral, but even better, I'd rather them become a coach and help them help other people. Right. So those are the 5 things. You know, the number 1, the sharing your journey on social media. 2, connecting with new people. 3 is inviting. 4 is giving your challengers an amazing experience. And 5 is then introducing them to a challenge group. Excuse me, to coaching. So to the business. When I have coaches that get to the point where they feel like they're pretty good with those 5 things, I think a lot of times they're like, all right, kind of starting to feel a little bit comfortable with this business now. But man, like, what if I get a coach that I have to train? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't even know what I'm doing all the way. How am I going to train a new coach? That's crazy. That's scary. I don't even want to invite people to be a coach. I'm not ready for that. But I tell them, if you can get comfortable with those 5 things, then all you got to do is just get your coaches comfortable with those 5 things. If you can get your coaches comfortable with those 5 skills, get them comfortable with that escalator mindset, with their why and that belief, and they have that mindset, that escalator mindset, and they have those 5 skills down, and they're continually improving on those 5 things. Don't look around and think you need to know anything else, because you don't. You're going to crush it. So what I do a lot of times with my coaches is I'll go on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you with number 1? Post it on social media. And this is, you know, totally truthfully, like, you know, where do you feel you are? And if it's not a 10, or if it's like a lower number, we're going to talk about how we can get more comfortable and give them ideas to help them with that. Same with how to find new people. Let's get that to a 10. Inviting, let's get that to a 10. The experience you're giving your people, get that to a 10. And introducing them into a coaching, get that to a 10. Right? So we're just working on that. And then they don't have to think, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, they're doing something different over there. Get comfortable with those things. Right? And keep it simple with that. Anything else? That's all I got. That's the mindset and the skills.
All right. Thank you so much for all of that. I have like 2 pages of notes. You did an awesome job. I'm sure that everyone has some notes and took a lot away from that call. Lots of golden nuggets for everyone. Do you have time for any questions? Because I know I have a few, and I'm sure that everyone else has a few too. Because I mean, how often do we get to pick the brain of Pat Riehlman? So
I just have a call at 8, so I got 15 minutes.
Okay, that works. So does anyone have any questions they'd like to ask?
I have one.
Go ahead.
So you talked about going live in your challenge groups. What if you don't run them on Facebook? Because I strictly run them in the app.
Yeah, we all use the app.
All right, never mind. Don't go live.
Well, I mean, what would the opposite be? Or I don't know.
You could do videos. I've done that before.
And YouTube, and then just give the link.
You can go live on YouTube, though. I have to figure it out.
I bet they're going to create a version, or they're going to update the challenge group app that you can go live eventually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's like one of like the highest thing that people are asking for change. But I guess you could just make a video and upload it to YouTube and then post it. But it's not the same because you're just talking to your computer.
Yeah, but it's still better than nothing.
Yeah.
True. All right. That's all I got.
Anyone else? No, I have a couple questions then. Okay, so what do you do for those coaches who maybe have success initially? They get like super successful in the beginning. They hit Success Club. They sign some coaches. And then the next month, like they don't hit Success Club. Nothing's moving. They kind of stagnant. What do you do for those people that like they got a really good start and then all of a sudden it's kind of like, what happened?
That's the that's where like connecting with new people comes into play. Like when that happens to every new coach. There's like 3 months where it's like, okay, I'm a warm market. It's going pretty well. You can always expand your warm market. Like you have a bigger warm market than you think. So in the Coach Online office, there's a memory jogger that, okay, since I can't give you that one homework assignment, here's another homework assignment. There's that memory jogger in the Coach Online office. I think it's under the news and training tab, under the Coach Training Academy, under reference materials. So in that memory jogger, it has like a bunch of things that you read through, and it's going to jog your memory of people that you know that you haven't thought about in a while. And I'll give you just a challenge of go find that and make a list of 20 people that you haven't thought about in a while. And for you overachievers, do 100. I have a lot of my coaches I have them do 100, you know, and that's funny. Like you're like 100. Oh my God, I don't even know 100 people, but it's amazing how many more people you know than you think. That memory jogger is an unbelievable tool. So make that list and post it maybe on like one thread in your coach group or something. But yeah, I would say that's just, you go through that initial phase of like the people that love you the most, and you know they're willing to jump on board with you and do that, and then that starts slowing down, which is why it's important to start connecting with new people right away as a brand new coach, so that they can start watching you those first 3 months while you're helping the people that are really close to you. And then, you know, when that starts slowing down, those new people that have been watching you a few months, you know, you can start connecting and inviting them, which is good. So keep expanding your warm market with that memory jogger, and then also start adding new people, connecting with new people through social media and things like that, so that you're always having new people that are watching you, and then you'll never run out of eyes watching your journey.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a couple more if nobody else does. Just want to give you guys a chance. No?
No, I had a couple, but he answered them as we were going along, which was perfect. So thank you for that.
Awesome.
I know sometimes I can read minds. That's weird.
Okay, so what about, because I know you were talking about, this goes off of the last question, so you're adding new people, you're building your contact list, and you're talking about like building your relationships, and I know a lot of coaches on our team have this question, so this is why I'm asking it. How long do you develop the relationship before you invite someone? Everybody always asks me this, so I'm just curious what your answer is for this question.
I definitely try, like that form, the FORM, I try to do that. So for you guys that don't know, FORM, the F is family, O is occupation, R is recreation, and then M is your message. So the message is the invite, but the FOR, you got to do the FOR first. So connecting with them, talking to them about their family, about their occupation, or about recreation, like things that they, you know, fun things. Maybe they're a dog person, maybe they have hobbies. And you want to connect with people that have those FOR, like things that you have in common with them. You know, like I connect with a lot of accountants, and because I can relate to being an accountant, and I know how much it sucks, especially this time of year. So, you know, I'm starting relationships with them, and I'm forming right now. And then, you know, the message is going to come when their busy season ends, and, you know, or maybe even sooner, you know, when they're like stressed out and eating whatever they can grab, and, you know, they need something that they can pop in for 30 minutes and just get their head straight with a workout, right? Or a shake they can have for lunch instead of some crap. So, and sometimes it depends on the individual, but I definitely do the FOR before I do the invite. Mm-hmm. But I connected with a ton of people like the beginning of the month in February, and now like I'm in the inviting stage because my challenge group starts beginning of March. So beginning of February, I wasn't like going crazy invite. I was going crazy connect and form, and now I'm like going crazy message invite. right? So that's my route. I always start a challenge group towards the beginning of the month, and I have a deadline. It always starts on a Monday, and the deadline's always 10 days before on a Friday. And the prep week always starts 1 week before. So they order 10 days before it actually starts on a Friday, and then they have the whole prep week, and hopefully that challenge pack shows up during that prep week, and they get to look at everything and figure out the containers and ask their questions. And then when it really starts, they're ready to rock and roll and run. Yeah.
So it just varies depending on how well the conversation's going.
Yeah. So I'm inviting right now a ton of people that I just connected with like a few weeks ago in the beginning of the month. And then, so I'd say a week or two.
Okay.
I've straight invited people without the form too. So it just, you kind of feel things out.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Any other questions?
I'll go if no. Okay, go ahead, Alex.
Sorry, Christy.
No, go ahead.
I just always like to ask this question. Where do you find like your market for inviting? Like, do you do Instagram hashtags? Do you do Facebook groups? Do you do friends of friends? Or do you not have like one preference over the other?
I do all of what you said, actually. So I do two platforms. I do Instagram and Facebook. And when I first started, when I teach my new coaches, like, don't worry about Instagram. Just if you don't have Instagram, like, let's just dominate Facebook, because there's unlimited people you can connect with on Facebook through suggested friends and the groups. And that's where I'm always the suggested friends and the groups. That's where I'm connecting with a ton of people. And then on Instagram, searching hashtags, and also using Instagress. The website Instagress that will do the likes. I don't do the auto comments, but I do the auto likes. And so a ton of people are like, who's this guy that liked my photo? And they come to my page, and maybe they're like, oh, he's worth following, or maybe they like a few photos. And so I check each day to see who my new followers and new likes are. And, I go to their page, and you guys do the 5-3-1. I do something kind of like that.
Thank you.
You got it.
So I have one more question, because I'm going to touch. So you just talked about your prep weeks. I run groups every month, but I've heard people talk about prep weeks. What exactly do you do during that week before the group actually starts?
Each day I post a fun question in the group. Like, if you could be a movie character from any movie, which one would it be and why? On day one of the prep week, on the Monday, I'll say, tell us a little bit about yourself, like your background, where you're from, family, one interesting fact about yourself, why you decided to do this challenge group. So everyone can kind of share a little bit about themselves and get to read other people's stories a little bit and get to know each other better. I'll post in the group, and I'll say there's two things I want you guys to focus on this week. One, get out of your comfort zone and interact and friend each other, or if it's in an app, like, get out of your comfort zone and just read each other's stuff and comment and like each other's stuff and support each other. Because the people that get out of their comfort zone and interact and encourage the other members are the ones that have the best experience, and they're the ones that have the best results. So that's the first thing. So I'm trying to create that community. I'm trying to get them to interact and have fun and connect with each other. The second thing is I want to make sure that all their answers or all their questions they have are answered. So I want to make sure they looked at the containers. I want to make sure they know how many of each container they're going to be eating. I want to make sure they know a few different Shakeology recipes to try. And I tell them, the first time you make it, you might not like the texture or the taste. That's okay. I didn't, but eventually now I found the couple textures and recipes that I crave and I love. So I want to help them with that. I want to make sure that they have, like, whatever program they're doing, they know where the calendar is, and if they have it, they can hang it up. And so they know exactly what workout they're doing every day. They know how the container system works. All their questions are answered. So when the official start kicks in, they're very comfortable with each other. They're all encouraging and rooting each other on already. And there's no questions. They're ready to rock. They're excited, and it just takes off.
Awesome. Thank you.
Got it.
I had one more little quick question if we have time.
Yeah.
So during the challenge group, as it's going on, do you talk about coaching in the group? And also, do you invite every single challenger to be a coach and become a discount coach? Or do you just invite the ones that kind of show like some potential to be a working coach?
What was the first question?
Do you talk about coaching like in the challenge group?
I don't really talk a ton about it in the challenge group. It's more like individual messaging, and I don't introduce everyone to the coaching opportunity. I introduce the people I actually would want to work with. But I do introduce, I do tell them, if they're not a club member, I tell them about the coach discount. I tell them, hey, you don't have to coach anybody. But you can get this discount. But if you do want to learn more about what I do, I'm happy to tell you what it is, a little bit more about it. And then I do have people that are like, yeah, tell me about it. So.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. That was fun.
Thanks for being here. We appreciate you coming out and talking to us tonight.
Yeah. I'll see you guys on the escalator.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wait, let's take a picture really quick. Don't go anywhere. We do this every time. All right. Go ahead. It didn't work. It's really delayed. There we go. It's always super delayed. All right. Thank you so much for being on the call. I'm going to post that homework assignment, like you said, in our team page, and I will let you know how everyone does with that.
Sweet. I'm excited.
All right. See you later. Thank you.
All right. Later, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.